Here we are, guys, we're going to hit this one. This is a beautiful big renovation. It was very in vogue at one time, wasn't it? I'm so glad it's not in vogue anymore. So this is going to be the massive extension of the back. I'd love to go in a time machine and see this being really used 130 years ago. I bet it was just so super cool. Hey guys, you're watching Build with A&E, and as ever, new job, new week. Here we are, guys, we're going to hit this one. This is a beautiful big renovation, the whole lot internally and a lovely extension and a gatehouse at the back as well, guys. We've rammed the truck in here because it's our first day here. We want to be able to bring the drive around here and curve it around, but we've got to dig a few trial holes tomorrow morning. It's really key that we don't interfere with the roots and make sure the tree guy's really happy with that as well. Big thing, security. Camera signs up, making sure we've got cameras around the whole site. It's really important for a little bit of health and safety, but also for when the sites are completely empty, just gives us peace of mind as well. So you can see this is a beautiful old house. This is nearly 130 years old, this house is. It was used as a student accommodation. We've then been liaising with the clients for the last 6 months, going through loads and loads of information about what they wanted into the house. We're gonna go right to the top floors, and then we'll come down each of the floors and then into the basement. You can have a look at the back garden, and then when you think we've finished, we haven't, and then we've got a gatehouse to do, guys. So let's go on upstairs and go and have a quick look. Come on. What we've got here is the first guest room. The architect seemed to think this room originally was designed for an art studio. Because of the elevation of this window so high, lets in loads of natural light, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it, to have a window this high and be an art studio. We're then going to insulate these walls because this wall here and that wall here are all shared walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip it all back. We're going to insulate this section of wall here. We're then going to insulate this vaulted part here. We're going to then renew the windows that are in here, but we're not going to put modern windows in. We're going to actually match the windows that are there already. So when you can see this 6/1, we're going to match exactly the same molds, same window board. It's going to look absolutely stunning. We're going to strip and sand the floors in here. We then obviously get the electrics and plumbing, put some beautiful old cast iron radiators in, and then we're going to refurb this beautiful fireplace over here because it's a lovely feature that's been here when it was first built. In the second room again, elevated windows. We're going to be stripping these walls here. We're going to be insulating it. We're going to be changing these frames to exactly the same as next door, because next door's got the original windows in, and we're going to match them exactly the same so it looks stunning. We're going to refurb this fireplace. We're going to strip all the walls away. We're going to clean this all up. We're going to use 1,000 gauge lining paper. We're then going to strip all of the floors, get them all sanded and all waxed up beautifully. A little secret that the client's now going to do, a bathroom in here. It's nice, but it's not brilliant, is it? And what we're going to do, we're going to extend it all the way through, and this will then be a bathroom that's then used for sharing between this guest room, the second guest room, and there's another guest room in there, guys. It's not very good the way whoever's done it, you know, because look, I jump up in here. There's loads and loads of void underneath this way. And the other thing is that what we can do, the ceiling joists that have been put in, we can drop them in between the actual ceiling joists which are there, which will give us extra headroom as well. And then obviously we can push this wall that way to where the purlin is. And the same with this, we can push it that way as well to make this room feel a lot bigger and maximise it, and obviously insulate this vaulted section through here. Make a feature of this beam, which will be lovely, won't it? Wax it all up. Change this window here again. These are horrible, disgusting, stormproof windows, these are. I made loads of these in the joinery shop many years ago. Very cheap windows. They're all coming out, and we're going to put in some beautiful Victorian copies of what the next door neighbours are. Obviously, all the fire doors come off. We're going to get all the original doors back in. Now you'll see we've got a bit of a surprise for you guys in the gatehouse. So wait until the end of the video, you'll see what the surprise is. Okay guys, so here we go. Downstairs to the next level. Obviously, can't miss out this beautiful window here. We're going to replicate it. New window boards back in. We've got to make sure we fully insulate through here. Strip the walls here. Strip the walls here. Strip this beautiful staircase. Look at this beautiful oak handrail, guys. I mean, once that's stripped back, rebuilt back to the former glory, it's going to look stunning. Now on the first floor, there's a lot of things going on here. So let's go into the master bedroom first, guys, okay? So in here, massive, beautiful space. We've got an amazing, beautiful bay window. Now what we're going to do is we're taking all the glass units out of here. We're going to use them when we come to do this double glazing. We're going to copy these windows exactly. Any frames that we think are good, they're going to stay in and just renew the casements for all double glazing. They're going to put a cast iron radiator in here and on the returns to make sure it's really well heated. So we'll clean and prep all the walls beautifully, soft fill them, and then we'll use lining paper. We'll repair this floor, get it sanded and polished and all waxed up as well. One thing I love about this property, even though it's been a student accommodation, they haven't ripped the guts out of it. They've kept loads of features. I mean, this beautiful fireplace, we're gonna refurb all of this, make that absolutely look stunning, black it all off or paint it whatever the client wants. This picture rail leads to something that says, do something amazing. So what are we going to do? We're going to do something amazing in this place, aren't we guys, you know? This is going to be a special place to live when we're finished. In this master bedroom, always has to come with a master ensuite, doesn't it guys? So the only window we're not going to replace at the moment because we've got to find the right person. We want to refurb this, we don't want to replace this. This is really key that we get this up and running, so we've got to be really careful with this. There's a few repairs that we've got to do. You can see the crack in the glass here that we're going to have to repair. We want to get this window open so it pivots like it used to, which will be absolutely lovely to do, won't it? And then the other thing we are going to do in here, guys, if you imagine, strip all this back, strip all this down, and we're going to extend this ensuite that way into the hallway as like upstairs. Get a massive, beautiful shower in. We can get a really good double sink in there as well as the toilet as well, guys. Now, one thing about this property, I've never done a walk-in wardrobe this size before. We've come very, very close, but not to this size. So come and have a look at this, guys. This is going to be really, really special, this is. So you can imagine this doorway is going to be moved over to here. And what's going to happen, you're going to walk into the center of the room. This is going to be an amazing walk-in wardrobe. Doorway in the middle here. We've got units then running all the way around like this. We're then going to create a window seat in here as well, guys. Then the units then going to go all the way around here, all the way around. We're then going to make a feature fireplace in this section here. It's then going to run all the way around here, then back to the doorway here. And what we're going to do, we're going to do a secret doorway. So when the door closes, you won't even know the door's there. And then we're going to sand all the floors, and then we're going to put this massive seating section into the middle here. So once it's in the middle here, it'll be absolutely stunning. Obviously the normal stuff we're going to do, pull all the walls back, get the lining paper on, sort the ceilings out, sort any cracks out, line of paper over the ceilings, get the windows changed. Now, this window here is what's known as an 8/2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows over 2. So that's in the joinery shop, that's what you used to call them, saying, oh, I'm making an 8/2. And we're matching it exactly the same, this beautiful old mould detail that goes all the way around, staff bead, so it looks absolutely stunning when it's done. We're now going into another guest room. We're going to put a reclaimed fireplace in here surround to make it look really in keeping with the rest of the property. We renew the window, put a cast iron radiator in here. We're going to strip all these walls. You can see all the blue tack's already been on from the students, can't you? And then look, somebody's left us, look, can you see over there? Somebody's left us a little surprise there, look. Do you know, wood chip drives me nuts? Wood chip's everywhere, isn't it? I cannot remember the last time I did not see wood chip in a property when we're doing a renovation, but wood chip everywhere. So we've stripping this wood chip here, putting 1000 gauge lining paper on, soft fill it all, get it all absolutely perfect. Sand all the floors again, get them highly waxed and polished all up. So now here we have an amazing Scandinavian toilet. I mean, this house was full of paneling. I mean, so there's so much paneling in this house. Obviously, it was very in vogue at one time, wasn't it? I'm so glad it's not in vogue anymore. Paneling, 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 paneling. I mean, it's great in a sauna, that's about it. Or if you've got one of these log cabins that's in the middle of the woods, but not in a beautiful Victorian house. But anyway, so what we're going to do with this, we're leaving this toilet down here. It'll keep it as a separate toilet. We're then going to put a wall across at this section here. Get rid of all this bathroom, take all the walls, which are all literally stud walls. None of them are structural, which is great. We're going to strip out all this boiler all here. We're then going to move all this bathroom and then renew all this bathroom space here, and obviously have a separate WC there, because if there's guests upstairs, then we'll use an additional toilet, makes it easier. I think it's a great shout instead of putting the two toilets in together like that. So it just works that way, doesn't it? Instead of putting the toilet into the bathroom, well, they can do, why not? So now the one thing I do want to do is just check out this mold, because one of the things they did do, they matched a lot of this mold, and I'm not going to give the secret away. I'll show at the end of the video, but what will happen is to see how this relates to the rest of the house. Okay guys, and you can see actually they've matched it through the spindles as well. They've really had a theme going on here, haven't they? And we're going to clean all this down, spindles down here. We're going to clean all the handrail off. Now one thing they have done, they've actually cut this newel here, you can see. We're going to splice a new newel on. We're going to then run the molds all the way through, put the new capping on. We're going to put the spindles back here, a beautiful half newel here as well. So it really complements the staircase as it would been many years ago. It's really key that we pull all this back together. Now the one beautiful thing I love about this house, we had a vinyl floor down here. So obviously when we first started just doing the rip today, the one thing we didn't know was this beautiful floor. I mean, fancy seeing this today, guys. We've already made a few phone calls in the office that we can match up to this quite comfortably. They can match the tiles to this. So any broken tiles we're going to repair. So we're going to rip all this all off and re-plaster it, reline it. Now what we have done as a temporary at the moment, we're starting to set ourselves up on the site. This room is actually going to become the dining room. Great fireplace, it's on eBay for sale. So this is being sold. We're going to strip out all of the shelving units which are here. Now the only thing we seem to think that's not quite right is the picture rail height. Now if you've noticed the picture rail height, it looks a little bit too high, that does. So we actually think that should be slightly lower down in proportion. We think that's like a bit of an add-on later. But obviously we would have had a picture rail, but we just seem to think it's a little bit too high, because normally it'd be like another 150 mil lower, because they're doing proportionally to the rooms. We've got a few repairs on the cove into small crack lines up here. Once we've done that, we'll strip it all back. We're going to strip the ceiling. There's a bit of a pattern mold on the top up here at the moment. And what we're going to do with that, we can clean all that down, line of paper it all, and get this room all then sanded and polished. It's going to look absolutely stunning. The key thing is anything we can keep, we're going to keep. Anything we can't, we're going to match. So we match the skirting, so we match the architraves. Cast iron radiators again, guys, underneath the window line here as well, to make sure it really pulls back that really oldness of the house, the cast irons, the lining paper, all that just gives it that oldie worldy sort of feel, doesn't it, guys? Okay, so let's get into the next room. This room here, there's not a lot I can really tell you about this, because a lot of stuff hasn't been decided about this room, because this is part of the new extension, which is part of the massive kitchen that's going to go in. But one thing we are definitely going to do is take out this beautiful fireplace. This is definitely coming out, guys. This is all being stripped out. We're obviously going to clean down all the ceilings, get them all absolutely mint. We're going to match the coving, which is going to go through into the extension as well. It's really key. We're all them ceiling lines coming through nice and level. All of this bay door systems all coming out. So you'll have this beautiful seamless line going all the way through to the new extension in there. This is all going to become part of the kitchen area as well. And you can imagine we've got a lot of stripping out here to do. We've started already, but there's a lot more to do. All of this wall's coming out here. All of this back extension here is all being knocked down. And what we're going to then be doing is bolting onto the new extension onto the side, because the extension itself will run across the whole back of the house. And as ever, more paneling. They love their paneling, didn't they? Panel, 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 panel. This is going to be an office. Now, you've got the transition between the kitchen and this room here, but what's going to happen at this point here, all of this where this void is at the moment, all of this void here will all get reblocked and bricked back up again. And it's really important that we do that, because we want the separation between the kitchen and this room. And you'll gain access through this doorway through here. We're going to knock, hear that? That used to be an old doorway, so we're going to knock it back through here. It's really important that we put an old doorway back in there. And then what happened is, I think originally this wall came across here like this, and I think you walk through a walkway like that and then to get to the cellar down there, because if you can imagine, the cellar would have been then used between the servants to get the cold meats and everything else like that. And you can see if we go down in the cellar, it's not very habitable. But what we can do, look, you can see the old wine cellar there and the cold shelf there, where you used to put meats and lards and that through in there. Look, you can see it here. And then what's going to happen is we've got to strengthen some of the floor up here as well. And then the boiler and the brake tank's going to go onto here with the first part of the pumps. We've got to renew then all of the electric supplies. There's a new board, there's another board got to go in as well. We're going to reroute some of the gas out of the way, and then going to renew these windows here as well. On all jobs, we always have an engineer come along and we walk through the house. We have an asbestos survey with a health and safety guy, Bob Millichip, who does all of our jobs. Also then have a structural engineer come and do the whole survey for us. And one of the things he picked up was on this wall here. Now I can't actually show you because I've not got my 6 foot level here, but if I give you an idea, that's how much a plumb it is. So that's a big old gulf, isn't it, guys? And you'll probably go saying, Tone, how do you know that's plumb? Because I'm eyeing that up with the Tony eye. And no, I'm joking, no. I'm lining it through with the other scaffold pole, so it's really out. And obviously because of the height, John the engineer, he wasn't happy, which I quite agree with him. I was a little bit worried about the wall, because obviously if that fell on somebody, it's going to kill them straight away. So this is going to be the massive extension of the back. Now the extension itself is going to go from the side elevation here. It's then going to go all the way across at this line here, all the way across there, all the way to the back, and that's why that building there has got to all come down, because we're going to demolish all of that, get rid of that, and there's this beautiful patio outside that then steps up and grays into the garden. Now one of the things we are going to be, see that detail on the parapet, and you can see the detail on the chimney stack. We are replicating some of the molds and the details that the architect has asked us to find somebody who can make those bricks, which we're doing at the moment, and it's going to look absolutely stunning to have this beautiful old detailing that goes around the house. We're going to match it into the new extension, but that chimney stack is just absolutely breathtaking. I tell you what, Stu Compton, Rob Songer, Alex and Steve would love that chimney stack. Super cool that is. We've got more to do. Let's go and have a look at this little gem and go and see what we're going to do there, guys. There used to be a doorway here, look, you see it? And then the other thing is that they then had a double door, which is over here, look. If you look at this opening here, guys, look, from there to there. So this must have been a big door. So I think what happened is that when they reversed the carriage in, back of the carriage came back to here sometimes, and this might have had a canopy on it or something like that, but definitely this had double doors at one time. But it's funny over the years how it changes massively, isn't it, to, you know, to having to get it bricked up. And then this looks like a London LBC. It isn't even an old beautiful imperial brick, it's a metric brick. And but it just shows you over the time how things change and people put their own stamp on their own properties, doesn't it, guys? So this is the gatehouse. What they would do, they would drop then the family off at the front of the house. This gatehouse was for the horses, it was for the carriage. And you can imagine, I'd love to go in a time machine and jump back in time and see this being really used 130 years ago. I bet it was just so super cool. So this is the old cobble, which is 130 years old. This is still part of that history, which I find so cool. And the one thing we will do is have all the relevant drain survey to make sure everything's running properly. But let's go and have a look inside the gatehouse as well. So come through here, guys. Get the lights going on. Let's turn the lights on so you can see that little gem we found in this gatehouse. So when the client bought the house and I walked around for the first time with the client, literally I could not believe it. They took all of the doors off from the old property when they converted it into a student accommodation, because obviously the fire regulations. And I'm so glad they did not throw them doors. That mould, remember I was telling you earlier, look, there it is again. What a beautiful, that was the little bit of a detail. Look at it all over the place. So what they've done, they've had this theme running through the whole of the house. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Now, we have done a measure of all the frames and openings that we've got, measured all the doors, and we're actually 4 short. That's all we're short, which is really cool, because you can imagine each one of these doors, they're all mortised and tenoned. Look at the thickness of that hinge. Oh, blimey, it's kind of, can't even move it. There we go, there we go. Absolutely gorgeous. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean all these doors, and we're going to refurbish all the hinges. So we're going to do a little video on refurbing doors as well, so people can see how that's done. And then we're going to strip them all back and then clean them all up and reuse them. Why wouldn't we? You know, it's a definite win-win, that is. And then if you can imagine, look at this. So you've got this all space. We're going to overboard the ceiling. We're going to fireproof it. We're going to insulate it. We're going to change and clean all the window up here. We're going to repair the runners, garage doors behind you. Change the staircase here. But look at it up here. This is going to become a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom. We can also put the kitchen downstairs. It's just going to be so cool, this space is, to suddenly have this as an add-on then to your property as well. And this is like another little gem of the whole property. So this is when we thought we'd been finished there. No, we've now got to be doing this gatehouse as well and converting this into a property as well. Now, see if anybody knows why they made these doors up so high. So imagine if I open that door, where that door goes and why up so high. See if anybody can put in the comments down below why they put them doors that height, and see what people say, see what they come back with, see if we get the right answer or wrong answer. But the big thing is, make sure you subscribe, guys, when you're watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that notification button, because the more people hit that subscribe button and notification button, it really helps us, and we really appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. So you've been watching Build with A&E. My name's Tony, and have a great weekend. Take care, guys.